Good morning, friends, and welcome to my channel Prodbug. And we are learning Appium 2.0 with the latest Java client. I hope you are learning well and you are able to understand what I want to convey you guys, and you are getting all your confusion related to the old Appium versus new Appium and Java client 7 versus 8. Everything has been cleared. And in the last chapter, we have seen how the XPath locators are working, and now we will see some more locators. Okay, so let me go to the code quickly and fine. So next topic is like class name locator. So it's a small topic, and generally we don't use much of the class names, but it's good to know everything. Yeah. Let me open the APK, or maybe the screen is better. What we are doing in this particular chapter is we are trying to use the class name here. Okay, so uh, see, the best thing I have taken is I try to print each and every element here. Okay, so we know that we need to find the list locator, and the best thing is what we can do is use class name, or we can use a generic XPath also, which we have used last time, right? So Android widget text view. So all the element we know that it's, you can see here the Android widget dot text view. Okay, so you can use this particular element because we know that all are having the same class. Yeah, and you can check here as well, like class Android widget text view. So I am going to use this particular locator. So we have used this one, we have used this text, we have used this one, content description. Okay, so now this is pending, right? So in this particular topic we are going to use this particular locator. So this is class and this is the class. Okay, we can check here as well or here as well, it's up to you. Okay, so we already know that there are 11 elements, and if we are trying to find with okay, let me check if this is working here. Class name, and if you'll put, okay, so if you put here, nothing will come because failed. Nice. Let me put here and again failed. Nice. Why failed? Because the connection has been broken between your Appium inspector and the server. Okay, so just if you are getting something like this, call to 10 field or something, so don't get irritated. Just close here, simply close the screen, close the Appium inspector, and just restart it. Okay, so fresh session will be created, and it will not break this time. Okay, so again this same screen comes. Okay, let me check again. Click here a class name, paste here, and see 12. Okay, nice. So 12 elements are coming. Maybe this one as well, API demos, because these are the 11. Maybe this one is also get picked up. Okay, so fine. So but this is working. Okay, so this particular locator is working, and what we are doing, simple driver dot find elements. Important is just note this s at the end. Okay, so this is for the list. By dot class name, just pass on the class name and list of web element we have created, and here is the list, and just element dot get text. Okay, so just we are fetching the text and one by one, and we are printing it. Okay, so let's run this particular method and comment it out and open it up, save. Okay, so right click, run as Java application. Let me open this. Let me open few. This is our Appium server running behind the scene. Okay, that's it. Okay, just open the app, just fetch all the element, print out the text. Okay, so see, I'm talking about API demos, right? So this is the 12th one. That's why I am saying why the, because the elements are 11, and why the 12th one is coming. So the the class for this is exactly the same. That's why this has been picked up. So API demos and accessibility animation app, all of them. The last one is the views. That's it. So all the element name we have successfully fetched, and we print it out. Okay, so I hope this is very much clear, not that much used. Let's quickly go to the next one. Very important, very important, and most confusing as well. Okay, to me it's a bit confusing. because we are coming from the Selenium background, and a lot of new locators are coming like accessibility ID, content description. They are creating a bit of confusion, especially if you are watching first time or using the APM first time. If you have used previously, then there is no confusion. You already know about this rule. But for the new guys who still not clear, let me tell you again. I think in the first chapter or second chapter I have already cleared this thing, but again I will clear you. It's good to repeat the same thing again and again, so you get a lot of clarity. If anywhere you find resource ID in Appium Inspector here, okay, let me click any one of them. Where is resource ID? Here is the resource ID. Whenever you want to use this particular locators, okay, remember I'm not talking about accessibility ID, I'm talking about resource ID. Okay, both are ID, but there is a lot of difference. You can see the value is here android.id slash text1, and here the value is accessibility, so they are completely different. Don't get confused between like this is id and this is id. No, they are not id. Okay, this is resource id, this is accessibility id. So whenever you want to use this particular locators resource id, what I have written, always use driver.find element by id. This is the Selenium id. Okay, always use id. So this is our real ID. Okay, resource ID is ID, one-to-one mapping. Okay, but if you want to use accessibility ID or content description, they are exactly the same thing. Both are exactly the same thing in terms of Appium, and you can see the value as well. Right, so value is like accessibility and accessibility. So most of the time, I think 900% of the time, content description and accessibility ID values will always be same. They will never be different. Okay, if you have such cases, just let me know, but I have never seen this case. So for me, or for Appium, accessibility ID and content description is one and same thing. Okay, you can use accessibility ID, you can use content description. It does not make any difference. Okay, both the values are accessibility. So whenever you want to use this particular accessibility, so don't use by.id. It will not work. Okay, so what do you have to use? Dot accessibility ID. So accessibility ID method will cover accessibility ID and it will cover content description as well. Okay, so this is the catch. Remember this these two line are very important. Okay, for resource id use id, for accessibility id or content description use dot accessibility id. Okay, clear? Okay, let's go to the let's start this particular test case. uh, Let me open Appium, this one. Okay, what we are doing here, okay, so this is the text one. Okay, find by id. Okay, now, okay, intentionally I choose this one by ID. Why? I will show you. I remember this case. Hmm. So, okay, so the rule is, uh, if we are using this ID, so we have to see the resource ID, right? What is the resource ID for accessibility? Resource ID is android dot colon id slash text one. But you can see resource ID is exactly the same for animation as well, right? So how I can click this element, right? Because you can see all the resource are exactly same. So even if you check this one, everywhere this resource id is same. See, nfc same, text same, views same, right? Everything is same, so resource id is same, so it's not unique. First of all, we should use this to fetch as a list, but yes, but this will still work. Why? It will choose the first one. So even if your id is not unique in Appium, we are able to click the first element. So in this case, your first element accessibility will be clicked. Okay, I will show you. Okay, but this is not a good strategy. This is never a good strategy to use such kind of ID which is not unique. Okay, never use this. Okay, this is just for the demo purpose. I highly encourage not to use this. Okay, but you should know, if let's say if you are doing some code reviews and if somebody is using ID and which is not unique, please put a comment. Change this particular ID which is not unique. Okay, okay, fine. So we clicked on the first element and we clicked on the back. So we are again on the home page. Okay. Okay, what are notes I have written somewhere? Removed from the Java client 8. Okay, so nice. So if you're coming from the Java client 7, if you have used previously, okay, so see, these are showing now error. What's the error is the method find by element is undefined for the type Android driver. Fine. So earlier we are used to write these kind of statement like driver.find element by accessibility ID. So this is a method, okay, altogether, and give the accessibility ID and click. But now Appium people have deprecated this, okay, in Java client 8. So now this is no more usable, and the alternative they have asked is use Appium by or by whatever. By will also work, I have already explained. Dot accessibility ID. So this is a much better one, okay, because unnecessary these methods are creating a lot of problems. And we now no need to use the mobile by. We have only two options: either you use Appium by or simply by. See, if you have noticed, we are using by. Okay, we have using by. Okay, so either you use by or use Appium by. You can't use mobile by in Java client 8. So let me comment. Okay, let's move next. Okay, now we are clicking on animation again. Let me show you. Okay, now this time the so first time accessibility will be clicked. We click on the back, and next time we are click on animation. How we are clicking? By accessibility ID. Okay, so where is the accessibility ID? Here. Here is the accessibility ID. What is the value? Animation. Exactly. So we are clicking on the accessibility using the accessibility ID. We are again clicking on the back, so we are again on the home page. This time we are clicking on the app. So where is the app? Let's find where is the app. Okay, here is the app. What is the accessibility ID? Is app, right? So I'm using accessibility ID as app, and I'm using click. Okay, so this will always have the same value which I told you earlier, right? So fine, so nothing, so we are simply clicking here back, then we click here, then again back, then we'll click here, and then we'll again come back. Okay, uh, in the code we are using ID, which is not a very good ID because we are not using unique one, and here we are using two uniques IDs. Yeah, accessibility ID, and this rule very important. Okay, so let me right click and run as a Java application. And where is our emulator? Let's see. Accessibility ID back, animation back, app back. Yeah, so this code is working absolutely fine, no problem in that. So I hope this particular topic is clear, like as accessibility ID, where to use accessibility ID and where to use ID, right? And don't get confused between resource ID and accessibility ID. They are two exactly different, absolutely different things. Okay. Okay, so there is this last method. So let's cover in this particular chapter only. Uh, Let me comment out and open this one. Get attribute. Okay, so get attribute, one of the very good features in Selenium and Appium. So I have put some notes for you. Like when you call the get attributes name method on element is Appium for Android, it will return the text value of the element if it is a text view. Okay, a bit confusing, but I am able to understand what I have written. Or content description value if it is not text view. Ah, interesting. Let me see if I have covered this or not, but we'll try to understand. This is again a confusing topic. Okay, so there are a lot of confusion in Appium regarding this content description and name. Okay, so this is not exactly matching with Selenium. Understand? Please understand. This is going to be a difficult method. It's not going to be an easy one. Let me try my best to explain you guys. Okay, let me open here. Okay, fine. So what we are doing first of all is driver.find element by XPath accessibility. Okay, the first one, right? Content description. So this is the XPath. You can see here. Okay, let me click here. So I have just copied the same XPath here, whatever given here. And so dot get attribute name. Ah, interesting. Uh, it will be good if we run this one and see the output, and then I will show you what I have written here, because right now I'm damn sure you're not able to understand. Okay, so let me run this particular code, then I can better explain you guys. Otherwise, just saying you theory, it will does not make any sense. Let's wait. Okay. Okay, no click anywhere. Okay, fantastic. But we have some output. Okay, now let's compare accessibility, and some coordinates here. Okay, let's try to understand. Okay, let's see. Let me open. Where is this? Yeah. So we have found the XPath, right? The accessibility. We know. We click here and we copy the XPath. And what we are writing here, find element by XPath and get attribute name. Okay, so name is accessibility, but you can see there is no name attribute here, right? I can't see any. Okay, so there is no name. Awesome, right? So there is no name. Let's try to find some name here. Maybe somewhere, maybe it happened present here. So you can see there is no attribute with the name, like in Selenium, ID, name, or there are a lot of attributes given, but you can see here there is no what we say, no elements with the name, like name. Okay, there is, I hope you understand, like there is a resource ID, there is a content description, but there is no name tag. Okay, which I want to say, but still you can fetch like get attribute name. So what it will give, it will give the accessibility ID or content description. Okay, so this will be fetched. So now read this sentence again. When you call get attribute name, like here, method on the element in an APM for Android, it will return the text value of the element. If it's a text view, okay, so I told you the wrong thing. So what I have written is, in case this is a text view, which we know that, yeah, it's a text view, right? This node is a text view, yeah, because the class, you can see here, class is text view. It's a text view. So if it's a text view, text value, uh, it will return the text value. Okay, sorry. So if the class is text view, then it will return a text value. And what is the text value I'm talking about here? This text. So this accessibility is actually printed, not this accessibility or not this one. No, it's giving this one. Okay, so if you want to fetch text value here, whatever the value you want to fetch, you can just use the XPath and get attribute and just write down name here. It will give you that this one text value of that particular node. Okay, I hope this is clear. Okay, fine. What else now we are doing? Driver.find element and again the same XPath get text. Okay, fine. So there is a difference. Like here I'm using get attribute and here I'm using get text. So like this is a recommended practice if we want to fetch the text. So why don't you use directly the get text? We have a wonderful method given by the Selenium Appium. So I would recommend you to use second line. But yes, we should know these new features. Uh, okay, you might find these kind of code in, yeah, while doing the code review, or you may also write yourself. Okay, so these are exactly the same thing. You can use get attribute and you can just pass the name, uh, name value, or you can directly use the get text. Both will give absolutely same result. Okay, now third things about this line. What do you mean by this? I'm using again the same XPath, right? Exactly the same XPath, same locator. Now get attributes content description. Okay, this is exactly the simple thing. Get attributes content description. I hope this is very much clear. Okay, so simply this will be printed here if you passing here content description. Okay, and let's go to the next is content description. This is again the same XPath. Okay, let me check if it's the same. Fine. This is the same XPath. Yeah, no change in that. And get attribute bounds. Okay, I hope bound is here. Yeah, bound. So basically, I want to fetch this value. Okay, so basically, this example is just to show you if we want to fetch these content description or text or this bound or maybe display, scrollable, password. There can be n number of key value pair here. So this example is just to show you how to fetch these attributes. Okay, using any locator. So we are using XPath in all the four example. We have used here name, which is not given here, not given here. Still we are able to fetch. Okay, but in that case, it will fetch text value. Okay, you can use get text. Again, it will give the same thing. You can use some attribute value like content description and bounds. So it will give content description. Where is content description? Here it will give this accessibility, or you can use bounds. So it will give this one. Okay, we have already seen this in our output, right? See this, these are the bound 0 to 20, 1080, 352. So exactly these things are getting fetched. Okay. Okay, so this line, I don't have the example for this line, but the meaning of this line is if it's not a text view, let's say there are some other element which are not, but in this app, you know, all the elements are text view only, so that's why I don't have any example. But if in your case, if your APK, let's say, so just try this example. If it's not a text view, okay, here everything is text view. So if it's not a text view, so it will give it content description value rather than this this text. So it will give, in that case, this particular things will be returned rather than this. So if it's a text view, so we are talking about the name only name. Okay, only name here. So if you are using get attribute name, so there are two cases. If it's a text view, class is text view, it will return this. Otherwise, it will return this value, content description value. So I hope this is clear. But if even if this topic is not clear, just forget that whatever I am talking about from the past 5 minutes. Just forget it regarding this particular things. But yes, these rest of the things, it's important how we can fetch the key value from here using different attributes, and this is get text. Good, yeah, good to know this particular method we have already used in the Selenium. So I hope this particular topic is clear to you, and in the next, for me, I have something like we are going to run Appium via server, which is very important when you are using the CI/CD and all this thing, and we'll use the APK too next time. Yeah, till then, thank you, bye bye, keep smiling and be happy. Bye bye.